Hey guys, I hope you're having a good day. I tried out Greenstuff finally, and it is so much harder than it looks. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I was going to try and make a cape for a Blightlord Terminator, which had a lot of kind of like blobby bits coming out of his back, and I wanted to make a cape to cover all of that. So I gave it a go. I have this Army Painter Greenstuff, and it was just a complete fail. It was so bad. It's so hard to use. It was quite hard to mold. It was sticking to everything. I was getting fingerprints all over it, and I just couldn't figure it out at all. I think one thing was, in tutorials I've seen, they say that you should use like a 50-50 split of the yellow and blue stuff. And I didn't realize until I opened this packet, but in terms of the split here, it's kind of like 1/3 blue to 2/3 yellow. So I have a feeling that's why it was setting faster. But yeah, I clearly need to do a bit more research on the topic before I try that one out again. After that happened, I was on Reddit and I saw someone had done a conversion of a apothecary biologist into a plague surgeon, and I just thought they looked so cool. I'll try find the post and link it down in the comments. My plague surgeon conversion has definitely taken some inspiration from that. I didn't copy them at all. They did all this kind of like cool tentacle stuff coming out of the little case, and they gave him like a sword instead of a gun. It was definitely the inspiration for this. So thank you so much to the person on Reddit. If I hadn't seen that post, I probably wouldn't have done this at all. So what we'll do today, I think we'll jump straight into showcasing the plague surgeon. I'll talk a little bit about what I did to it, and then we'll check out his datasheet at the end as well. So let's jump straight into it. All right guys, here he is, my new plague surgeon. Let me just give him one more spin so you can kind of see all that detail. Hopefully it's in focus. And yeah, let me talk you through this. So basically what I did, I gave him a new chest piece, I gave him a new head, I gave him a new gun, gave him a new shoulder piece, gave him this little chainmail bit, and gave him a Nurgling, and also painted him green. So in terms of the process, I kept all of the little bits and pieces, leftover bits from my first Plague Marine box. So I brought that out and was looking for all of these different things that I thought would be a good fit for it. So I was trying to find like a nice chest piece, a nice head, a gun that kind of, worked with the pose that he's got going on here, and a shoulder piece that fit there. It was quite fun going through those old bits and just trying, finding all the different things that I could use. But once I'd found them, that's probably where the first challenge came, where I had to really just clear out as much of the plastic inside it to make it fit so it doesn't look too bad. So I cut back, this chest bit was probably sticking out twice as far before I had cut anything off it. So I was cutting so much off it. I think I've got a photo of how much excess actually came out of it. But yeah, this chest piece took a lot of work, and actually just looking at it now, I can see that it's not quite centered. I must have glued it on in a slightly wonky angle, but that's all right. The chainmail, that was fairly straightforward. I just had to cut off a couple little bits and then glue that on. The head as well, he used to have a little spike, so I just cut that off and glued that in. And the shoulder piece, I believe I had to clear the inside of that out a little bit too. The hardest part by far was the gun. So after cutting his hand off, it was really hard to glue, and actually you can see from down the bottom there's actually like a little hole in there, just because I had to keep on messing around with glue. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It actually looks like his hand is attached to it pretty well, but I struggled so much with just getting that to look alright. There's actually a couple of little leftover bits of plastic in there as well, because I accidentally cut off too much when I first cut his hand off, and so I had to fill that a bit. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the Nurgling. Yeah, so we've got a little Nurgling on here who came from one of the Space Hero boxes. Not sure which one he was from. I think he might be from Claudicus actually. Oh no, or did Claudicus have an extra snake one? I can't remember which box he's from, but yeah, I've got a couple left over in the closet, which I'm going to use for other models as well. But yeah, in terms of painting, I just went in the same theme with the rest of my Death Guard. I did give him a purple and pink visor as opposed to kind of like the blue ones I've been doing for the rest of the army. And I guess this, I tried to make it look like it was filled with like some kind of like, I don't know, toxic poison or something. Oh yeah, and this was a little fun feature to paint, just a little medic symbol on the back there. So you know, people can see him clearly that he is the medic. He's got his little saws and things that he can cut through armor and that. But yeah, very, very fun project to work on. It's actually crazy how big he is. I didn't realize until I put him on the base and things that this guy's base is actually bigger than my standard Plague Marines, and because there is a bit of height on this as well, he actually stands taller than my Terminators too. But yeah, so that is the Plague Surgeon, sorry. So let's take a look at his datasheet. Okay, so I've got the Plague Surgeon datasheet up here in front of me. Like always, I'll just turn my camera off quickly, and we can see movement 5, toughness 5, 3+ save, 4 wounds, 6 leadership, and 1 OC. So pretty much in line with a standard Plague Marine. Obviously 2 more wounds and 1 less OC, but everything else seems to be the same. Now when it comes to his weapons, he's got Plague Bolt Pistol, lethal hits. I love how all the Plague Marines and almost everything in the army has lethal hits on the weapons. It's so good. Only 1 attack, 3+ BS, 4 strength, so not the best weapon in the world, but he can use it when in melee, so that's okay. His Bale Sword also has lethal hits, 4 attacks, 3+ weapon strength 5, -2 AP and 2 damage. This actually isn't too bad. It's pretty much in line with a Bubotic weapon. I think it's exactly the same as a Bubotic weapon actually. Okay, and then we've got 2 abilities, so Tainted, oh god, this is going to be a hard one to say, Naphtasium? I'll look that up. While this model is leading a unit in your command phase, you can return 1 destroyed bodyguard model to that unit, and Diseased Healing, much easier to say. At the end of your movement phase, you can select 1 friendly Death Guard infantry character model within 3 inches of this model. That model regains up to 3 lost wounds. Each model can only be selected for this ability once per turn. Okay, and on the second page, it's not really a whole lot on there. It just says that he can be attached to a unit of Plague Marines. So I have actually played 1 game now with the Plague Surgeon in a unit of Plague Marines, and I was pretty happy with how he performed. I put him in the squad of my melee units of Plague Marines, so the one that I have 3 Bubotic weapons and 2 heavy weapons, and they were in combat from quite early, so he did actually get to use his ability to bring back a model twice, which was really cool. Diseased Healing, I did get to use that once. No, I didn't get to use that once. My my Lord of Virulence got killed in 1 turn, but I haven't had the chance to use Diseased Healing yet. 3 inches isn't very far, so it would definitely need to be on a unit that is within, like, it's the same unit. I think the way that Plague Marines are kind of structured, you kind of want to go for a unit of 10 with 2 characters, maybe even a unit of 7 with 2 characters, or 5 with 2 characters, to make the most of these kind of abilities, because 3 inches isn't very far at all. And when I've played my Plague Marines, I've usually, if they're not in the Rhino together, usually have them separated and going after different objectives. So maybe I could try put him in the same unit as my as Pustus, the Plague Caster, because if he fails his damage roll, if he fails his hazardous roll, he does get free mortal wounds, which with this ability, you know, you just be able to shrug it off pretty easily. So I will try that out. I think I'll try that out in my next game. I'll run a 10 unit of Plague Marines and put both my characters in there and see how they perform. But pretty excited to have him in the team. Death Guard have so many different characters that I cannot wait to get my hands on and just try all these different like strategies and things and see what works best. I mentioned in my last video, but I do have a tournament in about a week and a half, which I'm really excited for. I don't think I have enough time to change my army composition. At the moment, I'm like bang on 1,000 points and I haven't painted my whole army yet, so the next week and a half I'm really just going to be focusing on painting it. But after that, I'm really looking forward to experimenting with all kinds of weird things. Yeah, so that was my Plague Surgeon and first attempt at converting a miniature. If you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you're still enjoying the content, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next time. I'll see you around.